Good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land. I am Deleted Scenes, human being, American, and YouTuber Ronan. I'd like to welcome you to tonight's episode of Live from Sparkwood and 21. This program is a retrospective of the Twin Peaks television series and its sequel, The Return, as well as the films of David Lynch. Joining me on this journey, my fellow panelists, who I refer to as the super fans. Last call, Troy Pacelli.
I am a super fan. That is exactly what I am.
His better half, Netters Network.
Good evening.
And of course, Flappy Apologist, Aged Boomer.
Yeah, I'm here. From what I heard, Flappy actually wrote the original script to Rocky, and Stallone stole it from him. I'm just saying. I've heard this rumor. You don't believe that, huh? Okay, fine. I'm just saying. This is what I've rumored. I'm just saying.
I'm just trying to figure out what a northwestern bird would know about growing up in New York. I'm just saying.
Okay, well, you know what? He knew the streets. Okay.
Okay.
He had. You know what? We may get more into his upbringing as the year goes on, because you don't know about Flappy the early years yet. You'll be quite interested to find out. So I'm just saying.
Okay. There you go.
I'd like to first off say hello to everyone currently joining us on X. I can't see you, but I know that you're there. And I want to say hello to some folks who have joined us here in the live chat. Channel member JPRPH1. Big Al Presents. Welcome. Host of Films with Friends and the creator of the 10-Word Review. Pop Culture Minefield has joined us, and he's asking, do I need to have my undies on for this episode? Well, if it makes you feel any better.
Yes. See no evil. See no evil.
Let's put it this way: if your camera's on, then yes, you need your pants on. If your camera is off, then I don't care what you do with your pants.
Right.
Or if you're Sharon Stone. I'm sorry.
Well, okay, yeah.
Sorry.
Good.
I know. It's all right. I'll shut up now.
Okay. Ruby Hoove has gifted a channel membership over on Troy's side. Who's the lucky winner?
That was and I just copied and pasted it too. Let me take a look. That was who was it? Zombie Box Reviews.
Nice. All right. Our kapla to our resident Klingon, Mark Malikoff. Faithful Blue Wrench channel member, the Bird Woman of YouTube. Watch out for her second channel, Fluff Chick Productions. It's Connie Cleary. Channel member, Andrea Black. Friend of the channel, Tune the News. And Gorilla's Random Thoughts has joined us. All right. So, what we're going to be going over in this episode is basically letting everybody know what we're going to be up to here, especially for the next few weeks. And, well, since the mastermind of this particular spate of episodes, I'll let Troy give you the deets.
Well, here was my thought. The original idea was that we were going to do a watch party for the entire run of Twin Peaks, give everyone a chance to get caught up, to know what the show is all about, and so forth. And because I didn't want to assume that people that were listening to what we had to say had actually even seen the show, and it was a 35-year-old TV series at the time. So I said, let's do a weekly watch party, and we'll do analysis as we go. When it came to the return, or what some people call season 3, the Showtime limited series, so forth, you had not seen it yet.
No.
So I said, okay, here's what we got to do. We got to treat all of it as if it's a first-time watch. And occasionally I would give little bits of foreshadowing sometimes, or I'd mention things that were pretty obvious, but I tried not to do any major spoilers. Now we've gone all the way through all of Twin Peaks, including books, audio tapes and so forth. We have looked at behind the scenes stuff. We've looked at parodies. We've looked at David Lynch's other works, which I thought were important because it gives perspective on the mentality of Twin Peaks in the day. And most importantly, I felt it gave insight to David Lynch as a filmmaker and a storyteller. When you pick up on recurring motifs in completely unrelated films that he's done, you kind of get what his shorthand is. When you see something similar in Twin Peaks, you go, okay, well, that's kind of like this other movie, probably is related thematically and so forth. But now I said, like I've said about other things that we've looked at, like we were watching Tenet last night, the members on my channel, we watched Tenet. I said, these complicated stories that aren't cut and dry, that you can simply watch, while scrolling through your feed and playing games and stuff, that you actually have to pay attention to, oftentimes benefit from multiple viewings. And so I thought, why not go back to the beginning, do another watch through? I mean, we basically did that over the course of a year. We'll do that again over the course of a year. And this time, we will assume that everybody's already seen it. If that's not the case, sorry, you guys might want to watch ahead, get caught up before you come back for the next week. But we will take it in bite-sized pieces and kind of savor it and really, really dig into it. For example, as we do, and I think we start out again chronologically, even though this isn't the order that they were created, we start out with Fire Walk with Me. And we spread that out over the course of 3 or 4 weeks, because the extended Missing Pieces edit of Fire Walk with Me is 3.5 hours. So let's break it up into no more than an hour per week. And that gives us the time to stop and look at it, talk about it, and prepare for next week. That was my thought. Now, I haven't thought too much farther than Fire Walk with Me, season 1 and 2 of Twin Peaks, and The Return just yet. But we'll cross Ronette's Bridge when we come to it. Speaking of which, Ronette's Bridge. You might have noticed the it's a detail you wouldn't have noticed in the thumbnail, but I redid the backdrop for the thumbnail. Previously, the thumbnail was Sparkwood and 21 from Fire Walk with Me. I think that was Fire Walk with Me, where James and Laura pull up to the intersection on his bike and she gets off. I took a snapshot of that, and that was, the backdrop for Live from Sparkwood in 21. I decided that I was going to get an updated shot of that intersection, for the rewatches. Well, we have the benefit of things like Google Street View and all this kind of stuff, so I could literally kind of go and see. And I did this with the you see it in the opening when I go from the original Twin Peaks sign. I have it morph into the current way that same street looks. And what's very interesting is many of the trees on the right-hand side are gone now, and the river has kind of risen almost completely up to the street now, just showing the changes. Well, there were similar changes that I saw in the filming location of Sparkwood in 21. But then when I looked back at the old footage, I was shocked at something I had never actually noticed before. When you're looking at Sparkwood in 21, the fictional Sparkwood in 21, from the point of view of the motorcycle, you're looking at the intersection. He stops at the intersection, and then he's going to take a right curve onto the next street after the light changes. Looking that way, directly across the street, you see a bridge. That's Ronette's bridge. I had no idea. And then when I looked at it today, modern day, although the bridge is still there, the trellises on the side are now gone. I think they're taking it down. Wow. That just kind of amazed me. I was a little surprised.
That is cool.
Time really does change. Want to say hi to Connie Cleary is saying thank you, Netter Troy, Deleted and Boomer, for 14 months of membership. Thank you so much for that, Connie. And
did you know my Christmas pie this year was a cherry pie?
Was it really?
Yes.
I did not have a cherry pie. Netter made a cranberry cheesecake.
Okay.
We've also been
That's
joined
what he
by
wanted, so that's why I made.
me and my learning center. Good evening.
No, that's Leering Center.
Leering Center.
Remember,
No,
that's
I say
Leering Center. Me and my
I can
Leering
actually
Center.
spell.
See, that's it. You assume that people. No. You would assume you're sending a kid to a daycare and it's going to be a learning center. No, you're sending them to a Leering Center.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, there are no actual children there, so does it really matter?
No.
Can you see the bridge in that scene in the background? Okay, so the thumbnail that is currently on this video is the current way that it looks. The picture was actually taken during the day, and I turned the picture tonight in Photoshop. So you probably can't see the bridge one way or the other. But yes, indeed, if you go back and look at Fire Walk with Me in that scene, and you know what you're looking at, you can absolutely see that bridge. You absolutely can. If we were there physically in Snoqualmie, Washington, I could literally take you and show you exactly where to stand to see that intersection the way you see it on the show. And then we would just walk across the street and we would be standing at Ronette's bridge. And then if you just go a little bit further down the way that James ends up driving and look back at the bridge, that's the shot that they get of Ronette walking across.
And I would like to welcome Acapella. First time seeing that name, so I hope you enjoy the show. Hit the like, do all the clicky algorithmy things. Well, I also want to say hello to FKHC 2005, sometimes known as Tim.
Yeah. And Enigma Sever saying we're live. Rumors of our life may be greatly exaggerated, but thanks for the shout out.
What is he known as other times?
What is who known as
Tim,
other times?
known as Tim or something. Some days known as Tim or something like.
Yeah, otherwise known as FKHC 2005.
All right. Okay. All right.
You know, just like, you know, sometimes known as Batman, sometimes known as Bruce Wayne. You know, sometimes known as Agent Boomer, and sometimes no.
I was going to say Matches Malone.
Oh, Matches Malone. That's right. He has been Matches Malone as well.
The Duke of Burgundy. The Mother of Dragons. Skinny Bones Jones. No.
Skinny Bones Jones. Exactly right. So, and it was kind of cool to be able to track down pictures of all of us from in trench coats. Got deleted to send me his. Geek Flag with Nate Knows had done a picture of me and Nanette drinking coffee, wearing the trench coat, and I kind of had to reconstruct Aged Boomer from our logo for Geeky Geezers, and came to find out that Grok does a pretty decent job. When I say, can you take this this cartoon logo, make it photorealistic, but have him in a trench coat drinking coffee? I was like, holy cow, it really does look like Aged Boomer in a trench coat drinking coffee. That's pretty good.
It's like, now
it does.
with my long blonde hair.
I might be able to manage that now that I know how to do it.
Well, I haven't been a short brunette in decades.
Yeah, it was like the late 80s, right? Early 90s.
That particular one, yeah, that was like, yeah, I want to say it was 90s.
That was back when that bloke did that poster, right? That was in that Nigel style?
No,
or
actually,
Nagel style?
my hair was long then.
Oh.
But what it was is he had, okay, there's weird story. So I was with a friend from work, and they're like, you know, let's stop by my apartment. They had to get something, or we're going to watch a movie or something. And while we were there, their downstairs neighbor had come up. He goes, "Oh, let me introduce you." And the guy looked at me, and he was carrying something. And he took one look at me, and he dropped whatever it was in his hand. I don't remember what he was carrying now, but he dropped it. And he's just staring at me. I'm like, what? I'm like, did I spill something on me? What? He goes, "I painted you." I'm like, what?
Oh.
He goes, "No, come with me. Seriously, I painted you." And we had never met before. So we go down to his apartment, and he pulls out this this picture that he had painted, several images of my face, the one with the short dark hair, and it looked just like me. We had never met. And he's like, "I don't know how I painted this, but I painted you." And he actually gave me a copy of the painting, or he gave me the painting. And the only thing that's on there that's like, okay, everything about this screams me, except for it had big gold hoop earrings, and I never wore those. I always wore tiny earrings when I wore earrings. But other than that, it looks just like me. So I still have the picture.
Cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Welcome to Daniel
But
Barry's.
that was 90s.
Yep.
Hello to Nate. He was a stalker.
Nate, how you feeling? I know you've been really miserable lately.
Is it that flu that's going around?
That's what it's sounding like, but he is sounding so bad. I'm concerned about dehydration for him.
And be sure to drink some OJ.
Or one of the chat members, and I cannot remember now who it was, had suggested drinking guava nectar.
Yeah.
And when I was really sick, like what was it, 3 years ago, where that's the one where I had been sick for months and the doctor couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. It actually made me feel better.
Was that Jesse Guajardo? I think it was Jesse Guajardo.
Yeah, maybe it was Jesse. But it was really good, and it made me feel better. So maybe something like that. Plus, of course, there's always my honey, lemon, ginger in a jar, and that always fixes me up too.
There you go. There you go.
Says I've been drinking plenty of water and Netter's tea.
Good.
Good. And no, we did not have a mystery movie last night, Enigma. I don't know when the next one is going to be because consulting the app, which isn't always up to date, granted, I'm not seeing anything coming up in my neck of the woods, but I am hearing there might be like some kind of IMAX only show coming up, and I don't have an IMAX theater in my area, so I might have to sit this next show out. We'll see, or just watch an alternate film, one or the other. Next one is on the 22nd. Could be wrong. One guy at the theater said it was in February. I'm not seeing anything on the 22nd where I live, so. What, 22nd? 22nd's a Thursday.
So I have a question for the panel.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Have any of you ever tried duplicating any of the meals in Twin Peaks, such as at a diner? Did you ever try ordering the same thing that Agent Cooper ordered one day?
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
Not only have I done that, but I have done that in Twin Peaks, or the real world equivalent thereof. So many times when Netter and I visited North Bend, Snoqualmie, Seattle, the diner that at the time I believe was it went from being Marty's to Tweeds to whatever. It's the one that was the location of the Double R diner. We've been in there and ordered the basics that you've seen people eating, the fries, the burgers, and so forth. Definitely had a piece of cherry pie there. I also had the cherry pie that was made by the person that used to make the pie at that diner, but was not currently. She supplied pies for the Twin Peaks Festival. So I had the cherry pie that inspired David Lynch. I had the cherry pie that was currently being served at that diner. Had donuts from various bakeries around the town that would be the analogs for the ones served in Twin Peaks. The only thing I didn't have while I was there, that was a food item that they focused on in the show, mostly because it didn't come from Twin Peaks. It was flown in by Ben Horn, and that was the butter and brie on a baguette, which I have made myself in my own kitchen. Do kind of like, but it's a little on the bland side. I would prefer to put something into it like alfalfa sprouts, to give it a little bit of texture.
Wouldn't the flavor have come from the brie though?
Yeah, but brie is an incredibly mild cheese.
Okay.
And between that and butter, it's
like the same thing. Okay.
It's barely a cut above butter on bread. You know, it's a creamed cheese, you know, and butter on bread. There's not much there, which honestly has caused me to really reflect on that whole scene where the Horn brothers are getting so excited about it. It makes me think, you know, I wonder if this is just a commentary on how rustic, you know, fresh, basic foods can be and how much pleasure you can derive from it.
I have a theory, though.
Okay.
It is possible you bought the brie here in the United States, and I noticed in that
And
movie,
he brought it from overseas.
Yeah, from France, and I noticed it was in that movie, the Spielberg movie about the Mossad, the beginnings of Mossad, and
Right.
and he befriended a Frenchman in that, and he said he was going to send him some sausage and cheese, and not that horrible American cheese where you pasteurize everything. Okay, he was going to send him some stuff from France, you know. But yeah. So that might have had something to do with it. Maybe it was different, and maybe it's different in France than it is over here. I don't know.
Can you speak to this, Agent Boomer? Geek Flag with Nate Noah says Flappy has gone full Sean Young on
Joe
Palazzo, trying to get a role on the new Stargate series. The studio put out a restraining order.
Well, well, no, as we know, Flappy cis and cis, plus Flappy Jr. is also cis, but maybe Flappy. I'll have to look into the line. Well, yeah, basically, Flappy was a bit of a diva. Didn't Sean Young show up in a Catwoman costume for the interview?
Yes, she was definitely trying to get that role. Honestly, if they'd have had the right idea, if it had been a different Catwoman, she would have probably been really good for the role.
Right.
I think that Tim Burton had a very different idea for what Catwoman should be. A younger Sean Young would have been better in the specific Catwoman that Christian Bale Christopher Nolan eventually put on screen.
You know what? I'm also thinking Natasha Kinski because of cat people. Just anyway, never mind.
Yes, this is a mental picture for a moment.
I'm just kidding. Maybe not.
That's an interesting thought. Although I'm wondering if there would have been a different role. She might have made a better Talia al Ghul just because of the accent. You know?
That's probably right.
Yeah,
You're
that
probably
too.
right there.
I think we're getting off topic, but I will say this. I did pick up Batman Revolution, which is the next book in that Batman 89 expanded universe or whatever. I'll tell you all what I think about it after I finished it.
Okay.
At least the Double R Diner had a special, unlike Hops Diner. That's a great point. You get the impression that Hops Diner was... It was very clear they were trying to establish a dichotomy there. Whereas the Double R Diner was friendly and outgoing and you know, Norma's looking to make the most of her business, and so she tries different things and involved in the Meals on Wheels. And what's Hap's Diner was more, you want coffee? Okay. Yeah, we got food. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Which do you want? You know, that kind of a thing, you know?
And I why do I suspect breakfast, lunch, and dinner was all the same thing anyway? Right.
Country fried steak.
Yeah, country fried steak and eggs. And
Yeah.
For lunch, country fried steak and also eggs again. You know, it's like...
Well, maybe you wouldn't have eggs and grits with your dinner. You might have a larger helping of
green beans.
potatoes, maybe you'd have green beans. Yeah, that's right. Something like that. Yeah.
Usually that's the go-to with country fried steak. You'd have your mashed potatoes and your green beans. Though I don't think
That is
green
true.
beans to be fresh. They probably be canned. But anyway, yes.
Country fried flappy and eggs. Ah.
Well, I told you, Flappy Jr., I told you it was an unfortunate. Well, I'd heard this that he ended up as a 2-piece and a biscuit at a Roy Rogers restaurant. And, police are
They
still.
called it Flappy Jacks.
Okay. You ever been to a Roy Rogers? Okay, never mind.
Actually, I'm going to go. So I said that I had the two different kinds of cherry pie in Washington. I also made the cherry pie from the Access Guide to Twin Peaks, which in lore is supposed to be Norma's recipe. And just like so many things in that book, you have to take it with a grain of salt. You gotta look at it and go, how serious are they trying to be about this? Because there are some elements of the recipe that I realize either they've purposely left something out, or whoever put that recipe together had never actually made a real pie. Because okay, so when you make you look at Netter's icon there, you look at what the pie looks like. You got the cherries, and you got that nice, well, yeah, and the crust, but then it's not just a bunch of cherries in there. You got the sugary, syrupy, rest of the pie, and that is supposed to.
That's called the yum.
Well, yes, and that is supposed to come from the cherry juice mixed with sugar and reduced down. The way it is described, though, implies there will be more juice than there actually is. And I don't care if you use fresh cherries or frozen cherries or how you do it, that is not going to be the case. You actually have to have more cherries than the recipe calls for, and then make a puree of them and strain them to get as much juice as you need. And let me tell you, when you put in that much effort, it's worth it. It is really a damn good pie, but it is a lot of work. It really is. And admittedly, the recipe that's in the book is for many, many pies, because presumably, Norma would be making many pies and not just one. So I have to reduce the recipe down to make just one pie.
Many pies make light work.
Exactly. Now, there is also a recipe for the coffee that is served there. And I got to be honest, there's really nothing about that recipe that really stands out to me. It's pretty basic. But again, that's what kind of leads me to believe, kind of like the whole thing with the butter and brie on a baguette, something very simple being so much more pleasurable than something expensive and exotic, right? You don't need the Colombian roast flown in from the mountains of South America, and it literally was picked from the tree the day before and then ground up and toasted. And no. Just your simple basic, whatever's local, grind it, make the coffee. It's simple. It's simple. And you don't have to put a lot of sugar. You don't have to put a lot of cream. You don't have to put a lot of nothing in it. Just take it black as midnight on a moonless night. Taste the coffee. It's good. It's good. If you don't like coffee, you don't like coffee. If you've got to put half cream and sugar, and then the rest is the coffee. Are you even drinking coffee anymore? Or are you just drinking coffee flavored hot milk? Just saying.
What about Juan Valdez though? Remember those commercials?
What brand was he for? Yeah, I'm sure his coffee's fine.
Hold on, Juan Valdez. I'm going to look this up now because this was a big thing back in the day. Juan Valdez coffee. What was his? Oh, the brand is Juan Valdez. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
A fictional
Sure.
character, you lie. Fictional
You know
character
what?
who appeared as advertised for the National Federation of Coffee Growers of Colombia since 1958.
Oh, don't get too excited about Colombia. They're probably going to be annexed by the current administration too. So it's going to be, South Texas coffee pretty soon.
Doyle Dane Bernbach ad. That you don't sound Mexican. He's the one that created Juan Valdez, or Colombian, I should say. He doesn't sound Colombian. Never mind. Okay.
Well, keep in mind the most interesting man in the world was also a fictional character.
I don't.
The actor actually, the actor that played him was actually a red shirt on the original series of Star Trek.
But
I kid you not.
But I thought he was this international man of mystery. You know, he had didn't he have like a tiger in his mansion or something?
Well,
You're
here's
ruining it
something
for
else that's very interesting about the most interesting man in the world. He didn't always play security officers on Star Trek, but when he did, he didn't die. That's actually true. That is actually true.
I was about to say, but when he did, he always had Dos Equis,
Well, yes, and he drank Dos Equis, yeah.
which was only available in the Romulan neutral zone in the far future because it's just too good for the Federation at that point. I just don't know.
I don't even know if the Federation drinks. Between
Scotty
Romulan
drank. Bones drank. You could tell this. I mean,
but it was very clear that they had to keep it hidden.
It was frowned on, I'm sure. Like, I don't think it was.
The doctor got away with it as strictly for medicinal purposes. I think Scotty made his own hooch on the reactor core.
Well, keep in mind that Earth could like Starfleet and Earth are different things, right? Like the Federation and Starfleet are separate entities, correct?
Right.
Okay, so they could, like Earth could still, you could still go to your Cajun restaurant in Louisiana, like on Deep Space Nine. Cisco's dad owned a restaurant, remember, and that was still a thing.
Yep, exactly.
I assume they charge money for the food because otherwise, what's the point? I don't want to think about it.
But yeah, and that's another thing. I'll revisit a lot of the. I don't think we'll do a special episode specifically to talk about the filming locations and the festivals that Netter and I went to, but I will make special effort to, as we talk about different episodes and scenes and whatnot, I will talk about those filming locations and our visits there and so forth. Some of the really interesting ones are the ones from Fire Walk with Me. What was the sheriff's station that they visit? I'm drawing a blank now. Where the sheriff thinks he's so tough because he can bend a piece of rebar over his head.
Yes, I remember that.
We every year they would have a picnic by the river, which was literally, you could see the sheriff's station. Well, the filming location that was the sheriff's station. It was actually the what's it called? The park ranger's house, and he gave us tours, and so you could see like his interior, his front room was the waiting room or whatever. The side hall was where their receptionist area was set up. The sheriff's office was one of the bedrooms, and it was so tiny. And we could visualize how they had to set up the cameras, and for one scene they literally had to set up the cameras outside of the house, filming in through the window. It was that small. Very, very interesting.
Oh,
But yeah. So there you go. So that's the plan going forward, at least in my mind. Of course, it is deleted scenes channel. He can change it in the middle, and he can go, you know what? This week we're going to watch an episode of Felix the Cat or something. I don't know, but
I like Felix the Cat.
He was a wonderful, wonderful cat. Yes, he was.
Yes.
Whenever he'd get in a fix, he'd just reach into his bag of tricks.
Yes, he would.
Or we can actually watch cats.
I do not mind if we do the stage by stage production and not that horrible film that they made recently.
It was a disaster, from what I'd heard.
I honestly don't know if someone was pulling my leg or if it was real. It's a matter of pose law, but apparently there's an edit out there where all of the cats' characters you could see their buttholes because real cats. And it's like, what is wrong with you people? Seriously.
The director was an artiste. Come on.
Okay, it's not cherry pie, but it is a raspberry.
She brought a punchki.
Punchki.
Yeah, we stopped at the grocery store yesterday. They were selling punchkis, so we got punchkis. I prefer Mighty Mouse. Here I come to save the day.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That movie was nightmare fuel. It kind of is, because the CG was just terrible. So honestly, when you start talking about AI generated art and film, it's like, look, it's at least a step up from some of this horrendous CG. I mean, but I do feel like this is something else we'll be talking about as we get into it. The lack of special effects in Twin Peaks, or the limitations of special effects. There's a scene where Josie Packard, after she dies, she gets trapped in a wood fixture in the room. And the way they visualize it is using the computer graphics of the day, which is only barely a step up from something like Max Headroom or the Money for Nothing video, but it's good enough for you to get the impression of what they're trying to get across. And I kind of feel like, yeah, if they did it today, they could probably do it more realistically. It would look better. But at the same time, I got what they were getting at, and I definitely feel like there is a very Lovecraftian element to Josie's spirit becoming trapped within the wooden fixtures within the Great Northern, which I suppose is not too dissimilar from Margaret Lanterman's husband becoming trapped in a log after he died in a fire. There is a very horrific element to that, and the implications because of the whole Black Lodge, White Lodge kind of thing. We'll definitely be talking more about that as we go forward.
Cool.
That always gave me a bit of a Shining vibe too. It was like,
Yep.
She is now part of the hotel, much as Jack Torrance is by the end.
I don't think that's by accident. I feel that if Lynch wasn't taking inspiration from the Stephen King story, I think that they were both drawing from the same inspirations, right? Remember the whole Overlook Hotel thing. There's a lot of Native American imagery reference there, and there are people that get into The Shining the way we get into Twin Peaks, and there are definitely parallels there. And what is Cooper's line when two apparently unrelated instances show correlation, one must pay very close attention. I know I completely ruined that quote, but something to that effect. I think that's appropriate. People are real big on saying, correlation is not causality. That's true, but correlation is correlation, and it merits its own review, so to speak. And you cannot get to causality without examining correlation. That is the first step. And you know what? Sometimes you do find out that there is causality in correlation. Sometimes. But you never know unless you do the investigation, my friend.
Oh.
And if we take the international cut into account, and maybe old Bob's kicking around that hotel somewhere too.
That's very interesting. And I'm probably going to be referencing other YouTube channels like Obnoxious and Anonymous as we go forward. Very recent short video that Cameron did over there was talking about Cooper's dream and how his dream references not the actual pilot episode, but the international cut, and why that is. And I find that to be very, very interesting.
Right. So go over to Cameron's channel, Obnoxious and Anonymous, and check that short video out, because it was a tidbit that I did not know.
Yeah.
So.
And when we get to the second episode of Twin Peaks, which would be,
So I'm going to be looking at that episode in a different way now.
Yeah, and when we get there, we will I'm sure in the description we will link to Obnoxious and Anonymous's video about that and so forth. So yeah. Great insights. And this is one of the great things about social media and the internet age, because you have this collective knowledge of fans sharing this kind of information that you didn't have as you were watching it in the early 90s. Correlation is Carolyn's cousin. That's funny. And this must be where pies go when they die. I decided to wear my underwear outside my pants. Oddly comfortable. Yeah, there you go.
Maybe.
And that's the kind of thing that a lot of people have comments on, and they don't do the research to understand it. The whole idea of Batman and Superman and characters like that wearing briefs outside of tights, right? If you are going to wear tights, there is a reason to wear briefs on the outside. And if you think about it, you'll understand. But it goes back to weightlifters and circus strongmen who wore bodysuits with these wrestling style briefs over them. There was a stylistic reason that a superhero would wear an outfit like that, and a practical one if you were a circus performer. So, again, correlation doesn't equal causality, but if you pay attention to correlation, you might figure out what the causation is. Just saying. So that's another reason why we look at things like Mulholland Drive and Lost Highway and other movies that David Lynch did. You see a correlation, and it doesn't necessarily mean the two are directly related, but it does give you some insight if you're paying attention, if you're thinking, if you're willing to do the analysis, which is what I believe we're here to do. Nate likes to come in and say, "Oh, David Lynch was just being weird for weirdness' sake," and I'm like, I understand why you say that if you're not willing to put in the time and energy into doing the analysis. But when you do, you find it to be much, much more rewarding than that.
Are we going to find out who put the fish in the percolator?
We'll talk about it.
I
do believe there. Do believe there is an answer.
Yes, it was the fish itself.
It was trying to kill itself, right?
It was a self-deletion. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
It saw Laura Palmer's body, and it just made him so depressed it had to jump in the percolator. I'm sorry.
Dozens of fish self-delete every year. It's just not widely reported.
Like the flying fish, right? They'll fly right at you.
Take me, take me.
That was there was once this show, I think it was on HBO or Showtime. It was limited, but it was called Really Weird Tales. It was supposed to be like a comedic version of like Twilight Zone or The Outer Limits. And they had different actors show up in each episode. One had John Candy, where he's like the salesman from the Music Man, it's like that. But there's a scene in it where the mom of the kid is saying, my husband died from a flying fish. He said, I thought they were in these parts. No, they were, but he was using dynamite to blow the fish up, and the fish hit him head on. It's just.
And you know what? I the more I think about this, the more I think we will talk about that when we get to the pilot episode. We'll talk about the theories, and we will talk about the whole role of mystery in Twin Peaks and David Lynch's storytelling. And I would say that the fish in the percolator is part of the allegory of mystery in Twin Peaks. Just like Laura Palmer's Who Killed Laura Palmer? We'll talk about that whole question too. Again, like I said, folks, going into this the second time through, we're going into it knowing who killed Laura Palmer. And it's not a spoiler anymore because we've already seen it, right? And especially since we're doing Fire Walk With Me to begin with, we know that Laura's killer was kind of a two-part. It was her father and it was Bob. We already know that.
Well, but for those who've never seen it before, they didn't know that. Now they do.
Well, that's why I'm saying this. These are not spoilers now. We are assuming that you have seen it. If you haven't, you need to go and get caught up. But there are still mysteries.
Sorry.
Oh, no, yeah, no, go ahead. Say what, yeah.
There's a very nice Blu-ray box set you can buy now, too, that has everything, including Fire Walk With Me. They now included everything in a box set now.
And including those missing pieces.
Yeah, I think the missing pieces is in there, too, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, and we will be looking at those missing pieces as we watch Fire Walk With Me again. The so-called Northwest Passage edit of Fire Walk With Me.
Cool.
But Sergeant Giratina, welcome. Good to see you.
Mm-hmm. A Flappy hit the fish with a golden shovel
Funny.
and put it in the percolator.
That's an interesting take.
Jacuz.
We also have to consider, as we talk this through, the whole idea of, and this kind of gets back to the whole what's it called, the way we watched Tenet the other day. There are multiple instances or timelines that you have to consider as we watch this. So we'll talk about that as well. But that being said, you guys know what this journey is going to look like going forward. That was the whole idea behind tonight. We are trying to prepare you for the journey, so to speak.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay, the missing pieces reveal so much. I love the extended room above the convenience store scene most of all. So Acapella, I hope that you will be joining us going forward. I'm assuming you're new here because the name doesn't look familiar to me. The idea here is that when we watch something like the missing pieces, when we watch episodes of Twin Peaks and so forth, there will be, as I believe Netter mentioned earlier in the chat, we will have a Cosme link or some other off-platform place where you can click, do a right click, open another tab, watch along with us here in Twin Peaks, here in YouTube.
Well,
you kind of
feels like we're in Twin Peaks.
That is what I'm kind of going for with this. That's true. But here in YouTube, we will have our commentary, but you will also be able to watch where we are in sync with us on Cosme, the episode or the edit that we're doing of Fire Walk with Me or whatever have you. For obvious YouTube chicanery reasons, we can't play it here on YouTube, but that's okay, I think, because I think it's better that you have your own physical media if you're not watching live with us, to listen to our commentary and watch your own physical media instance of the episode, the movie, whatever the case may be. Or if you're not watching live in the future, you can use our episodes of Live from Sparkwood in 21 as a commentary track to your own watch throughs of the show, which from what I understand, that's exactly what Cameron of Obnoxious and Anonymous did with our watch party of the Queen of Hearts, his fan film. He obviously has a copy of his fan film, so he could listen to our commentary and hear what we had to say about his fan film. And go back to last week's Live from Sparkwood in 21 to hear what he had to say about that. I felt really good about that. I felt like he really honored us with what he had to say about our commentary, and he felt that we honored his fan production. So there you go. Oh, and there's another thing. I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, but I believe that after we've gotten through, another rewatch through of Twin Peaks and The Return and so forth, maybe we have Cameron back again for another watch through of that, this time with him doing the commentary live with us as we're watching. That's what I'd like, and I haven't mentioned that to Cameron, haven't mentioned that to Deleted yet, but it seems like the obvious thing to do.
You could always simulcast it on his channel too.
Oh, absolutely. There's no reason we couldn't. There's no reason that couldn't happen. In fact, I think it should happen that way if he's willing and interested in doing that. Mm-hmm. David Lynch's what?
Easier to figure out in terms of service for YouTube. Yeah.
You're not kidding. That is kind of a joke, but it's it's like what's his name, Sheldon. It's funny because it's true. It kind of is, sadly, but that's it. And we're probably getting to the wind down portion. Because you kind of gave it to me to run with, Deleted, obviously I've kind of monopolized the topic, but is there anything I haven't thought of, anything you wanted to mention and so forth?
Just to the folks out there, stay tuned for more of the same.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Throwing me under the bus on that one, are you?
Yeah. Well, no. This is our chance to watch Twin Peaks through new eyes now that we have seen probably about as much of it as we're ever going to get, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I keep hearing rumors that Mark Frost is working on a season 4. I don't know the validity of that. I'll believe it when I see it. But I tell you,
let's just say it. Mark Frost, I give Mark Frost more credit for anything that he says than say a certain Martin bloke, in his books. Just saying.
Hope springs eternal.
Right? Exactly. So
quit playing with your train sets and finish the book. That's all I gotta do. It's been 14 years.
Finish the book, fat man. That's all I have to say.
Oh my goodness, 14 years. I'm wondering if Ian Fleming wrote the whole Bond series in 14 years, probably.
You're right. Because he put out like a book a year, sometimes 2 books in a year.
Yes, almost a book a year. Yeah, he was very good. I mean,
no, I wasn't. That wasn't an exaggeration. I was looking for you to correct me if I was wrong, because I think
no, it's about a book a year. Yeah.
The Secret History of Twin Peaks was a brilliant masterpiece. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we like those episodes.
Were you here for our first time through on that? Because I may expand that since I have the time going forward. We did a visual presentation along with the audio of that, and we'll probably do that again. Going forward. So there you go. Again, we'll present that on in the same way we will do that as a live Cosme experience for you to see live with us. But I'm kind of wondering if there isn't some other way that I could share that out there in the interwebs, the various bays out on the high seas, or maybe other platforms that are less draconian in their policies. We'll see. I have time to think about that going forward. Just kind of mentioning that. So there you go. And that, my friends, is my plans going forward, which I think are aligned with my friends here. Just like Lynch and Frost, same with the four of us here.
Right on.
Whether I'm Lynch or Frost, I don't know. I think I'm more. I don't know. We'll see.
All right. Well, we do have a certain London detective.
Another
gonna
detective
be,
story. Yeah, exactly.
Who's going to be back at work here very shortly. So I think now's a good time as any to kind of wrap it up for tonight. Just go one time around the horn. Netter, what do you have coming up?
Well, on Thursday, my special guest will be Wilkie's Movies and Music. And according to the poll that I took with my members, it looks like we're going to have for our members only night. It's going to be trivia. And it looks like the overwhelming date is going to be next Thursday at 8 p.m. So it'll be an hour before Thursday Things. And then we'll go into Thursday Things, which I don't have a guest for yet. So we might just be shooting the breeze.
All right.
And then Saturday is Big L, right, honey?
Saturday is Big L, Shape of Water. Yes.
Yeah. So, and I'm just guesting everywhere else.
Well, Boomer.
I will be on Friday Night Last Call with Troy this week, and also tune in Sunday for Geeky Geezers. We'll give you the latest pop culture news. I have a Target article we will be talking about on Sunday. If we needed another reason to hate Target, we have one now. So, but anyway, okay, that's all.
Oh boy, Troy.
So, yes, I am. If you on most of our channels here, if you stay right where you are, you will be forward to the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes stream presented to you on my channel, Last Call. The episode is the Norwood Builder. That is the next episode as we go through our rewatch of the Granada series of The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes with Jeremy Brett. And I did want to address this question here that's in the chat, asking possibly, Discord as an option for, the presentations of the books and so forth. Yes, in theory, I could do that. I do have a Discord. I am not the most tech savvy when it comes to that, but I do feel like Discord might be a better option than Cosme for reliability and other sharing reasons. But again, that would still be a live presentation, and I'm thinking more about like maybe something like Rumble or something that could be a more if you're not here live, you'd still have an option to see that material. I don't know. I got to think about it a little bit, but yes, Discord is an option that's in my thoughts. And if you have other options of how I can take an auditory and visual file to share with you on a more on-demand and more permanent kind of basis, other than just a live presentation, let me know. I'd be open to that. Yeah,
Right
there
on.
you go.
As for myself, I recently hit 5,300 subs. Unfortunately, I am now back down to 5,299 again. So please check to make sure that if you believe you're subscribed, please check to make sure, because sometimes YouTube will unsubscribe you without your permission. And I've noticed that's been happening with the channels I've been subscribed to for years. I'm suddenly no longer subscribed to. So
Right.
please check that out. Let's see. Unless something comes up between now and then, I should be joining Outlaw Bill for Action Theater. That'll be Thursday afternoon at 4:30. Film to be, well, I know what it is. It hasn't been announced yet, so I got to keep mum for a little while longer. Later on that night, right after Thursday Things at 11 p.m. Eastern, will be my program Coming Attractions. My chance to touch base with my loyal subscribers and channel members and let everybody know what I'm going to be up to for the next week or so, up to including my appearance on Films with Friends Saturday night with Al Troy Netter. So, Shape of Water, Guillermo del Toro's Oscar-winning film. So, might be he might have another Oscar-winning film coming up here pretty soon. We'll see. Let's see, and of course, that gets me on over to Sunday, Unscripted at 8 p.m. and reserved seats at 11. So that's what I have. And of course, join us right back here next week as we return to the world of Twin Peaks with part 1 of Fire Walk with Me. All right. Any last words before we close it up?
All super appreciated.
Yeah, I second that. Really appreciate you guys being here, your support, your eyes and attention.
Right.
And still rest in peace, David.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And as I say at the end of every broadcast, from HQ and all points north, south, east, west, and beyond, including the corner of Sparkwood and 21, good night. Take care. Stay strong. Be safe and healthy, because this is how we win.